What's up, YouTubers? Johnny DIY here. Today we are going to be changing out the coolant on a Toyota. If you guys are new to this channel, do me a favor and click the subscribe and the bell so you can get all my new videos. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so this is going to be the same thing on pretty much any Toyota. If you've got a 4Runner, Tacoma, Tundra, this is a Highlander. But first thing we are going to do is, this is a cold engine. Make sure your engine is completely cooled down. We'll go ahead and pop the radiator cap off right here. Then we'll take our drain pan and stick it over here on the right side of the vehicle, the driver's side. Alright, now it may be kind of hard to see, but right here down at the bottom of the radiator there's a little white thing. It's called the petcock. And we'll loosen it up. You just turn it a little bit until it opens up and it'll start draining out. There it is. You see that white wing nut thing where the fluid's leaking out from? There we go. You don't have to undo it all the way. And there's also a cutout right here in the undervalance. The plastic cover has a cutout right here for service, so we don't even have to take off this bottom panel. Sometimes you may have to unbolt this panel. It's just a few 10 millimeters and maybe a couple snap clips, but we'll just go ahead and let this drain out. Alright, now while that is draining out, let's go ahead and go over to our reservoir right here on the left. We'll undo the cap. Now some of these reservoirs will be bolted down, maybe 110 millimeter, but on this car, if you look over here on the side, it just slides in. You need both hands, so you just lift up. See, it's got a channel right here and a bracket right there that slides onto. Now we can take this, dump that out into our bucket. Rinse this out with the hose, especially if it's got a bunch of gunk built up in it. Alright, now once that's all clean, you can just go ahead and snap it back in or bolt it back in with that one bolt. Now I know someone's going to say, well, this isn't going to drain all the coolant out, and you're right, it isn't. It's just going to drain the radiator. If you really want to get fussy about it, there is a couple engine block plugs. There's one over here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's over there underneath by the oil filter over here. But really, there's so little fluid in the block on these cars that I've done it before. It's really not even worth it. The drain and fill of the radiator is just going to be just fine enough, unless your system is really mucked up, like you haven't changed it, or it's almost gelling. You'd want to do a full flush, and then if you want to do that, you just get a little flush kit at your local auto store and flush it through the system, and then run water a bunch of times to get all that out of it. Alright, now once all that's drained out, go ahead and get your garden hose, and we're just going to spray in a little at the top. Especially if it was really mucked up, you're going to want to really rinse this out. But if it's not too bad, don't worry about it. Just rinsing it out a little will be perfect. Alright, now make sure you dump this old stuff, because it can be really poisonous to animals and children. You don't want to leave it open like that, and save it for recycling. Alright, now we can go ahead and close that little petcock valve back shut. Make sure you tighten it down good and snug, just by hand. It's got a little O-ring in there, so you don't need to do it more than just snugly finger tight. Here we go. Alright, now let's talk about coolants before we refill. If it did have red coolant in it, which it should have, Toyota Red, I would recommend getting Toyota Red, or I like this Valvoline Xerex. You can get this, it's compatible, Toyota compatible, see, Toyota Lexus Scion. It's really good, and it's a lot cheaper than the Toyota Red. You can use green coolant. If it had green coolant in it, you could swap it out and use green coolant. It's fine, really. Toyota is better because, as you can see, it has a special blend for Toyota. It's silicon and borate free, and it's phosphated hybrid organic acid technology. So either Toyota Red or an Asian safe blend is going to be the best coolant. If you had green coolant and you wanted to switch to red, I'd recommend doing a flush with water a couple times so you can get it all the way out, and then you're gonna have to put a concentrate red in because of the extra water, so it'll be a 50-50 blend. And I do recommend the extended life, because then you can get 5 years and 150,000 miles out of it. So we'll just open this baby up, pop the seal, and then we're just gonna wanna fill it up. Alright, there's 1 gallon. It's best to shake them up too, because sometimes the stuff settles in them. Now let's see how much of the second one we get in. Alright, so it just took barely any of that second one, and then let's go ahead and fill up our reservoir. you just want to fill this up to the little F line right there on the side. Then we can put our cap back on. Alright, now leave your radiator cap off. Then we're going to start up the car. We're going to put our dial to heat, and then we're going to put the fan on. So why you want to run your heat is so that it can circulate all the coolant through the system. See, look, it's already gone down. So we're just going to let this run until it comes up to operating temperature, maybe 15-20 minutes, and we'll just keep topping this off. What it's also going to do is it's going to get rid of any air bubbles in the system. They'll be able to escape right here out of the top of the radiator cap. You don't want air in your system, or you can get, your engine can actually overheat if it has big air pockets in the system. Alright, now after it's been running a while and there's no more bubbles coming out here and it hasn't lowered down anymore since you've added it, you can go ahead and turn off the car. Alright, now we can go ahead and put our radiator cap back on. There we go. Alright, now we're pretty much done. I recommend go ahead and keep the rest of your coolant in your car, and you might need to add a little to the reservoir within the next couple days to a week of driving. You just want to keep an eye on it for around a few days just to make sure it hasn't sucked any more in and you need to top it off. But that's pretty much it, guys. You'll be good for the next 5 years or 150,000 miles. If you guys like this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to my channel. And click the bell icon. Alright guys, thanks for watching Jonny DIY. Keep on doing it yourself. Take care.